Good evening and welcome to the December 4th, 2023 meeting of the Reston Community Center Board of Governors. The first order of business is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the approval of the November 6th board minutes.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the approval of the November 6th board actions.
So moved.
Just in the, on the board action, the year on those is incorrect for the second and third entries.
I missed those missing. Which ones? The actions?
Actions, yes. It is no longer 2022. I'm pretty sure that we approved those and there was no October 3rd, 2022 meeting.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Mr.
Sure. I'm just a little bit lagging behind, so I missed that. Appreciate it.
All
I
right,
usually look and say, okay, look good.
fix
Okay.
that.
So, with that correction, we have a,
Oh, do this after vote.
yes.
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Get out.
Like the tape is rolling, the tape is rolling.
We go back to 2022, geez, Tom.
The next order of business is the chair's remarks. I have a question for you. Did I have to write an article last week?
No, you have to write one this week.
I know this week, but I wrote one that I didn't see.
Not last week was
No,
all.
week before.
No, the week before it was.
It was
in-
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll check,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure it was.
I have to check too. Anyway,
All right.
all right. Now that we've not straightened that out.
I think it was about, the second round of Esme's tonsillectomy.
Okay, very good. We just missed seeing.
Keep up with that.
Oh. And I'm glad you do. We need the support.
Exactly.
It's the holiday season. How many parties?
Sounds like a song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of songs for that. How many parties are we all gonna go to in the next couple of weeks?
Minute.
Oh.
Be solid.
Do you have a poem?
Yes, I do. You catch me without a poem. This is, because there's just so much to talk about that you can't really talk about, and it's just whatever. But this is called Amazing Peace, and it's by Maya Angelou. In our joy, we think we hear a whisper. At first it is too soft, then only half heard. Bless you.
The sneeze
We
don't
listen
whisper.
carefully. We listen carefully as it gathers strength. We hear sweetness. The word is peace. It is loud now, louder than the explosion of bombs. We tremble at the sound. We are thrilled by its presence. It is what we have hungered for, not just the absence of war, but true peace, a harmony of spirit and comfort of courtesies, security for our beloveds and their beloveds. We, angels and mortals, believers and non-believers, look heavenward and speak the word aloud. Peace. We look at each other, then into ourselves, and we say without shyness or apology or hesitation, peace, my brother. Peace, my sister. peace, my soul.
Amen.
Perfect, amen.
Thank you. Next order of business is the November 11th board orientation report. Mr. Booth.
All right. So we met with Supervisor Alcorn on the 11th, November the 11th at 9 o'clock, and we welcomed our newest member to the board, Paul Berry. Thank you very much. And basically the board orientation is a catch-up on Walter's, Supervisor Alcorn's priorities coming up in the next year or so. So we talked about the developments on Reston Town Center North and how the properties have been all allocated. And now the hard part begins with, trying to find funding around the facilities there. There's two sets of different things going on. One's the public side, one's the private side with Inova. The first thing to move will be the library, which hopefully will be built sometime in the next 5 years, followed by the shelter, and then the rec center, the health and wellness center will come sometime later because of the bonding capacity, or lack of bonding capacity for the county. Walter has created a task force to talk about the potential for some interim uses. And a meeting was held with that task force after this, of course. We also talked about the Reston Arts Center, and what the timeline potentially could be for that. Dick wanted to know, could we make it a little bit bigger and add some more things? Certainly we can with more funding. We also talked about public-private partnerships and how we can participate as RCC. And pretty much that was it.
Thank you, Mr. Booth. And do we have approval of that?
I move that we approve that report.
Can you correct my last name, please?
Second. With the correction, it's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the board member input on activities attended since last we were together, and we started last time with Shane, so we'll start with Paul.
Attended the all-day parade the day after Thanksgiving. Had a really great time. Last year, so my son he's going to be 2 in a couple of weeks. Last year he was 1. It was much easier to sit in bleachers.
Oh, yeah.
But for that alone, you got me forever now. But we had a really good time. There's a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you to all who put effort into that. That was really enjoyable for my family and I.
So I will go back slightly farther since I missed the last meeting, but I did go to see Nefesh Mountain and We Feed the People, which are 2 wonderful shows. I finished a sculpture class over at Lake Ann. I attended Walter's meeting for what to do with the Wheelie Avenue section between Sunrise and Sunset. And that was a very interesting meeting, a surprising level of congruence on what people wanted to have done. It was amazing. It was really nice.
Can you tell us what the main?
Pardon?
Can you tell us what the main thing was that they agreed?
There was broad consensus that slow the traffic down, widen the sidewalks, create bicycle lanes, and try to make it a more livable section that makes it easier for people to move about within the strange area that's the Wheelie metro area.
No bridges over Wheelie Avenue.
Well, that's an issue. The problem with bridges over is people don't like to climb up 20 feet after already climbing up from down below that. And they don't do it, so they just walk across the street.
Right.
And they've been torn down a lot of other places.
Yeah.
If you could get a tunnel, that might work, but that's money, a
Or
lot of money.
escalators.
And then the other thing is I went to the event last night
Last night.
for Ken Plum and Janet Howe. And it was a very nicely done thing. I will give Lila enormous credit, not only for the fact that the usual hospitality was there, but the way she arranged the thank yous to them. It was not 5 politicians boring everybody with horrible speeches, but it was very friendly and really a nice kind of community meeting. And you conducted the interviews just splendidly. So it was very, very nice.
Agreed. Agreed.
It was fun.
I enjoyed watching Santa come on the barge with the elves and all that went with it, and to see all the excitement surrounding the whole plaza was interesting, and aside from that, attended a lot of basketball games. So, getting better and rebounding and making for shots, so. Things are-
Looking up.
Things are looking, you can start back.
Got a coach, right?
Get back your coaching shoes, huh? Unfortunately, my poor granddaughter. I attended the holiday parade, which is kind of fun this year because we actually had grandkids. One old enough, not a big, she could handle it, and then an infant who was like, loved the music, and she was just totally excited. And we're like, oh, okay, so it worked well. And there were a lot of people. It was always fun to see a lot of people there. Very great community event. Weather was perfect. Day was nice, so I enjoyed that. And things that are, I think, related to the whole theme of wrestling. I'm just going to add this. I've been there before, but I was invited by a fellow Restonian to go to the Native American Museum downtown. They had native art for the weekend, and so if you're a member, someone who donates, you can come to a private showing in the beginning. We went, and the art was phenomenal. But I just got engaged with a lot of the native people from all over the country, and tried to find out about their tribes and the languages and how they show themselves in art and weaving. And we got to one part, I overheard one lady saying something, and she was talking about gender, and she talked about some of the ornaments she made. And I said, "Oh, Two-Spirit." She goes, "Yeah." We got this big conversation about how when she wasn't Hopi, I'll think of what it was again, but she was saying that the Two-Spirits are part of their beings, and no one is discriminated against. It's a really weird thing, and she talks about it's not a big thing in how we do things in society. It was so interesting to hear, and people gathered around and asked her, "Did you guest lecture?" So I'm going to hopefully have her come and speak at my class at Mason. But for me, someone who does DEI, to sit there and learn so much in a 2-hour period, really engaging, but how much the different people wanted to share about who they were, and to hear it from their perspective. That's what I do as a DEI person, but to hear people who are indigenous to this country talk about it. Some of the artwork talked about giving their land back. It was phenomenal. I thought everyone should have a chance. So that was neat. Just made me think about wrestling quite a bit. I attended the event last night with Ken and Janet. I have to piggyback what you said. It was phenomenal. I was, ready to go and see the typical, which are nice, but going to have it be like an interview, but in a way that you're interviewing a cozy conversation in someone's kitchen or home, and that's what it felt like. And it was just very different. And loved the South Lakes High School combo. They were quite good. I went and spoke to the drummer afterwards. As a drummer, I was totally impressed with that. And then I think that's it. There's one other thing I wrote down. I can't remember what it is now. But
You were at the negative Farsad?
Nagin Farsad.
yes, oh, that's what I wrote it down. I couldn't understand my own writing. I said, yes, sorry. Yes, I'm like, I wrote it down. I was like, what did you write? Yes. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, Nagin Farsad, I heard of her, but to hear her in person, I could not stop laughing. I had to make myself be quiet so I would not get kicked out. She was spot on with everything, but to weave gender issues, being a parent, to what's going on in the world right now, just hilarious. And PD should be commended for everything he does. He gets the best people here, but it was a great night. And it was a well-attended, packed house. And she just made me laugh in so many ways. But yeah, I was there too. So thank you for reminding us. I know I did something else, but it was so much fun, so much fun.
Lots of
Lots of
meetings.
meetings.
Lots of meetings. Rest of the town center, North meeting a couple of times. And then, I got to see Santa coming on the barge at Lake Ann on Saturday. And, we got to say goodbye to John Lovis as the market master at the rest of Farley's Market. He was the originator and been the market master for the last 26 years, so we got a chance to say goodbye to him and thank him for his service. That's it.
A bunch of meetings. Actually, I saw South Lake's one and only for this season football playoff game. They were upset in their first home playoff game, so that was unfortunate. But they had a great season. Obviously, the parade is always great. This is the first time in 9 years I haven't had a kid marching in the band. So it's nice not having to get there at 8:45 for an 11 o'clock parade. So that was lovely. The Winterfest, RCC helped sponsor the Winterfest that RA put on, and that was very well done. I thought that they pulled that together very well. Minor tweaks that, they've learned a few lessons. It's the first time that they did it, but it was really good. The walking through on the path through all the lighted stuff and the trees and the vendor village thing. They could use a little better lighting, but aside from that, it was. I thought it was really good. So kudos to RCC for helping make that happen, and kudos to RA for pulling it off, and to Laura Kowalski, that I understand it was her brainchild. So kudos to all of them. Went to the farewell for Ken and Janet, and as I told you last night, and I've said publicly before, kudos to you and to everyone else who pulled it off. Certainly the Jazz Club, which by the way is actually 3 South Lake seniors, but they're not associated with South Lakes High School, so that's sort of their own thing. But they are great, and the drummer is Nikhil, and he's amazing, awesome. And they're 3 really great kids, and of course I know them from just being a roadie for 3 years when they were in the marching band, but they've been really tremendous. The other thing about last night is having the spouses say a few words, answer a couple questions was a nice touch as well. So that was another thing that I think was done. But seriously, every time there's a farewell of any significance, that should be the new tempo. So it should be the new tempo. And then I've been watching a bit of, finished up watching UVA's football season because my daughter was in the marching band, so I was there really just to watch halftime. And they were bad. But the football team was bad. The marching band, football team, not good.
I will disagree with you. That is a tradition, and wah, it's okay that we're bad.
Absolutely.
Please.
Absolutely.
You're student athletes, and it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But now I haven't gone down for a basketball game yet, but she's in the pep band for the basketball. But I DVR it, and then I scrub through all the basketball because I really don't care about basketball. But every time they go to the band, I'm like, okay, is my daughter there? And so I got pictures from the TV of my daughter playing trumpet. But that's about it.
The main thing for us was the parade, and for us, this was the first time that Marion and I have seen the parade in probably 15 years, because we usually go to Tampa for Thanksgiving with family, and this year that was called off because of an illness and my cousin. But it was great, and we really enjoyed it. And thank you, Lila, for arranging for the seat for Marion and I. We had beautiful seats right in front, right on the curb, and enjoyed it very, very much.
Great. I attended the parade. It was my first time in the grandstand, so that was a nice surprise. Rustin Ford and Cornerstones and Thompson Hospitality teamed out for the Thanksgiving turkey drive, and we fed 130 individuals. So that was a big
Wow,
success.
that's great.
Right.
That's awesome.
And then I also attended Walter's open house holiday party on Friday. So it was good to have everybody in there.
Okay, now, what didn't you all mention? You mentioned the orientation. I voted, all the rest of us.
There was an election.
Oh, yeah.
I did that.
That was just after our last meeting.
And I attended Jan Bradshaw's memorial down at Lake Ann. There is, you all don't know about this, so I'll tell you. There is an RCC bowling group that meets
Bowling.
once a
Bowling
month.
group.
Bowling.
It's a staff and Bev and family bowling outing that there's.
Is this me bowling or?
No, this is the
They
real
go to- they go to
deal.
bowling
It's the
alley.
real ball and the pins and.
Yes.
Yeah. And in case anybody didn't know,
The beer.
a little competitive.
You should see them.
Well, I think you've inspired that.
Yes,
Miss
Sumi's
Gasha.
the one. Sumi's the one, because she's really good.
Win, win, big down.
Lila and I went to the Thetford Director Dinner. The parade, yeah, everything else you did, I did. Except I didn't go to all your meetings.
You didn't miss me.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, the next order of business is the Executive Director's report.
So the event last night, I would really be remiss if I didn't thank the RCC staff who really are the
Right.
reason it looks so seamless and so beautiful and is run so smoothly in terms of all the production elements. And at the same time, in this facility, we were exiting a production of the Nutcracker with more than 100 ballerinas in it. And there was an entry of the Reston Swim Team Association with several dozen of those swimmers to practice. And nobody in the community room noticed or felt disturbed, or there was very meticulous traffic management in the building. And on Saturday, at the Lake Ann Jingle on the Lake festivities were outside, but the Gifts from the Heart exhibit and sales event that we do, 10% of those proceeds go to Cornerstones, and that's donated directly by the artisans who put out their wares for sale. We had over 1,900 people click through that event, and they got to see, we think, the real Santa, the RCC Santa inside. So it was like an added bonus. Parents were ecstatic because they could actually shop while the kids were hanging out with Santa. So it was a very busy weekend for us. And of course, we had the Thanksgiving food drive in November. They collected more than 3,000 pounds of food for that event, and we had just about 200 volunteers who came here and packed it up in about a half an hour. It's a pretty amazing activity. Phoebe and Fred tomorrow will be looking at the contract bid documents for the energy utilization improvement project. We are still talking with the vehicle company in terms of the RCC on Wheels. The number of things that we want to do with that vehicle seems to be pushing us toward an all-fuel motor instead of a hybrid. But we may be able to put solar panels on the roof that will help with resting power to the internal. There's a huge battery pack that is inside the vehicle that travels with the vehicle to power up all the peripherals that we want to be able to have on that vehicle. T-Mobile has notified us that they are going to depart their antenna operation on our theater fly system roof. I have talked to Mike Lambert at Facilities Management Department about the possibility of, rather than dismantling all of that and carrying it away, doing a secondary lease to some other, back in 2013, AT&T wanted to investigate the possibility of putting antennas up there, so they're gonna look at that. If that works out, great. If not, we lose that by the end of June in 2024, and that's about $24,000 annually in revenue that we will be losing. That was a very sweet rental deal for us. So we're gonna hope for a substitute lessee up there if we can get one. The Negin Farsad performance that you guys mentioned was extremely well received, you know, in the context of the world conditions at the time. She was just amazingly deft in handling all those issues of identity and factionalism that could have just blown up, but she was really terrific. Our Equity Partnerships Director is now a member of the Virginia Recreation and Park Society Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Resource Group, so that will be a good connection for us. We do lots of holiday themed programming in November and December, and it's generated a tremendous amount of participation for families. We had almost 100 people, for example, for the Ho 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 Letters to Santa event, which was, again, another RCC Santa occurrence. In terms of the holiday parade, what's so great for us about that is the visibility it gives us. And as you know, because they came to our last open engagement meeting to ask if we would consider increasing that sponsorship level, and we did. So some of the things that were so enjoyable about that are directly attributable to our sponsorship. And similarly with the Winterfest, that they put that together very, very fast. So the sponsorships were only offered about a month ago. And as a part of our sponsor agreement, we were allowed to decorate one of the trees in the Enchanted Forest. And our visual arts team, led by Tracy Griffith, so she came up with the idea of using all recycled trash, basically, Solo cups and styrofoam egg cartons and packing netting and those Nespresso pods, you know, they're so pretty, the jewel tone Nespresso. They made Virginia-themed decorations. So there were cardinals, there were egg cartons were turned into dogwood blossoms. The Nespresso pods became little bells. I mean, it was just really, really beautiful, and you know, so fitting for RA's focus on environmentalism, for the whole notion of recycle, reuse, reduce, and then at the top of the tree they made out of a whole bunch of Solo cups and other things, the Reston Fox. So it was a big hit. It was a big hit, and kudos to them. And finally, we play musical chairs with Bill Parker, who recently took the acting community events role with us, and then he applied to become the facility services director, which he was successful in attaining, and he will assume that role on December 16th. And we have some pretty significant number of full-time job openings for community events director and off-site events coordinator. Soon we will need a box office manager, and we also have a part-time benefit earning customer service representative position open. So I mention those in case you know people with those kinds of expertise. Please send them our way. And that's about it. I think Bill covered these Reston Town Center North meetings that are so engaging.
Invigorating.
Invigorating. Very invigorating.
I've noticed this before, but today walking in, I saw the couple of lights are out in the RCC sign above.
Oh, yes, up on the top of the building, yes. I keep meaning to mention that to Fred, and I keep forgetting, so thanks for
Good.
reminding me. But yes,
Make
they
sure
are.
to get it in someone's ear.
The backlight behind Preston Community Center on the top of the fly system.
Yeah, and from the, cause I come in from the, sort of the Safeway side, all I can tell is that center only has like the C and the R. And so I don't know about the other words, so I couldn't see the rest.
No, it's, you're right, I think it's probably one or two lamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
I do want to remind everybody of our Saturday strategic planning session on January 6th, I think, right?
Yeah.
And that will be from 9 to 3, and should be a very important conversation about our upcoming survey. It's 5 years and it's time to do one. So Kara Fitzgibbon will be with us to talk about the survey design and content. So put your thinking caps on about what you think we need to know.
Will it be in RCC
It's
offices
been
again?
5 years, can you believe it? Feels like we
amazing.
just
That's why I said I can't
talked
believe
about
it's
that
5
art
years.
center just a
Really?
day ago.
It really is.
Will it be at the RCC's building?
It'll be at our.
Alright.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any continuing
I know the
business?
difference, I really, yeah, I know the difference.
You're not alone, you're not alone.
After all this time?
Yeah.
Is there any continuing business? That's it, stay home. Nope, any new business? No. You can note the events down at the bottom and add the January 6th
Right.
information. And the meeting for December 2023 of the RCC Board of Governors is now adjourned.